Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Live Now, where Felipe and I discuss cars that are currently live on Cars and Bids. But first, we were going to talk a little bit about last week. We chose cars for Doug, and as you can imagine, unfortunately, Felipe, I vanquished you here.
I knew.
We all knew that was going to happen, that E34.
So cool.
Five-thing touring was wonderful.
It's so cool.
And the
that alone.
Yeah, but your Audi was a really good choice, too. But anyway, we're moving on this week to this week's discussion. We're going to talk about turbocharged cars. We're focused only on turbocharged cars that are currently live on Cars and Bids. And I'm going to start with one that I saw in person. I've seen the car, I've sat in it, I've been in it, and that is this 930. Now, people say 930 turbo. The 930 is the turbo. The
right.
G-body is the normal 911. But anyway, this is a really special car in that it's an early one. So it's a Japanese market 3-liter turbocharged car, and it's a slick top, no sunroof on it, which is like, again, Porsche, pedantic things.
It's also true in BMW world. Slick top ones generally fetch more money.
Definitely. And this car, it's a very honest driver car. And the seller's been very transparent about this. The car is repainted. It has some issues. I think he said that he's going to do a paint correction on that. But it has some issues with that. But engine was resealed. Has a ton of service documentation that comes with it. It's just it presents really well. It starts so easily. It's a nice driver.
It's such a cool car.
930. And to me, when I think turbocharged cars, still, maybe this is just because I'm old, I don't know. When I think turbo, like you say 911 turbo, this is what I picture. I don't know why that is. This car is definitely older than I am.
I disagree with that.
But I think
that's fair.
I just think this car. And this is it's a nice example from actually a very good seller.
A really
cool
seller,
guy.
But also,
I like Chris.
930s are so cool.
930 is really cool. And this one, when I think the most iconic turbocharged cars of all time, I mean, the car is literally called the Turbo. This is on that list.
What else is up there?
This is it for you? The R5 Turbo doesn't make the list for you?
All right. Fair enough. But I think for people, when they think about turbo, when they think about the impact that turbos have in driving experience, they're thinking about a car like this, where the turbo really is the driver of the experience.
Well, yes. And this car, at the time, this was when turbo was being used. Turbo became synonymous with performance.
Yeah.
Because of this car, largely. And it's just, I've always wanted one of these cars. I've only driven one. I didn't get to drive this one, unfortunately, but I drove a 5-speed car and I just loved it. So cool. The G50 is a great gearbox. But this, again, is an early 4-speed car, which is fun in its own right. Watching the video, it holds on to those gears and you just kind of go. The turbo kicks in and you hold on tight. But the original Widowmaker.
Yep.
Quite a special car. So that covers the classic.
All right. What do you got for the modern?
My garage. For modern, I wanted a modern sports car too, because we're going to pick 3 each. Yep. And I wanted, this F8 is lovely. Now, this isn't crazy spec in that it doesn't have lashings of carbon fiber ever. It has the steering wheel and a little bit there. But it has this beautiful dark blue interior.
Yeah, blue sterling.
So good. Not sport seats, the normal seats. It got the stuff that you would want. It does have the axle lifter. It does have the Scuderia shield. It's got those little things. But it's finished in Tour de France blue, which is I believe it's Tour de France, which is my absolute favorite shade of blue on a Ferrari. I think it just looks
so good. And also the F8 is all purpose.
It is. I will say the F8 is the most usable, unusable car I've ever driven. It is so easy to drive around, and you could drive it like a normal car, but then you breathe on the throttle and you just hold, you're oh my God, you hold on tight because it just goes, it's so fast. But then poodles, you can just poodle.
That's exactly what you want.
It's from a modern
especially when you have
car.
a 930 turbo in the fleet as well.
Yeah. Which is experiential. This is blow your head off fast, and I can take this on our mountain drives and things like that and keep up with pretty much anything.
What can you not keep up with? It has 710 horsepower. It's pretty light. And it's more good dual clutch.
It's more car than I would ever need. But I just think it looks lovely, and I think it has the right options. We do have a 488 as well. I prefer these cars a little bit personally, in that I think the performance is a little bit. I don't know. There's something about the way it drives. The 488 truly feels like a normal car. It just, I had something about it. And if you're looking for something that's usable, it's a great choice. But the F8 is just it's on the edge of unusable, at the top of its performance.
Yeah. Plus Spider,
which I really like. And blue calipers,
And blue.
Blue, and blue. And then my last car
Yeah.
I picked,
So
I need it
round
daily.
out the fleet.
Yeah, so I have my vintage car, I have my modern sports car, and to round out the fleet is this Audi S7. Now, you pointed out before we
Nobody
started.
expected this from you. I want to make that really, really clear.
You pointed out we have an RS7
Yeah, we
on
do.
the side. For me, I've always liked the earlier S7s.
They look
something
great.
about it to me that like, I want a little bit of performance, but I don't need it to be the ultra hardcore performance car. Like, and the S7 just does that for me. The A7, S7, like this platform, I think is one of the most beautiful four-door coupe shapes
It is.
ever.
Yeah.
I think that I realized that the rear headroom is compromised and stuff, but
I've sat in the back of this gen RS7. It's
not so bad.
It's not bad.
it's not so bad. And I just think that coupled with the interior, which I just feel is amazing. Audis of this era, just like that interior is so good. For me, it's just one of my favorite cars of its time, and I think as a daily, it would be absolutely perfect.
excellent
Just based
car.
on what's live on Cars and Bids, it's relatively reliable.
Yep.
It's relatively practical, good for all weather use. I think
Still
it's, I think
450 horsepower, a little bit more. This has a tune. That's still real power.
right. It's a very serious car, in terms of the performance, but not as
Too
insane
serious.
as the other car. It's just like and it fit the aesthetic of the garage, which
Yeah.
looks so good already. And I think that's like just perfect.
I also support it not being you not choosing the RS7. If you want a daily, the RS7 is actually pretty competent. It's not as harsh as you might fear, but you might want a little bit of extra comfort, a little bit of extra compliance. You don't really need the extra 100 horsepower. You're good. You're good.
I think it's just a very competent car.
Yep.
Well, and I don't know, maybe I should like consider
Maybe
one
you
of those in
should.
real life. That's like a
Legitimately.
really good car.
You really should consider one.
That's
I see it. Your first automatic, potentially.
yeah, I'm just waiting to let go of that card, and you're just sending it and never let me forget it.
100%.
Now your garage.
We went in very different directions.
Okay,
Like,
so how did you
incredibly
approach
different
this
directions.
brief?
I want a car that I want. F8, cool car. I don't care. S7, cool car. I do care. You already chose it. 930. Cool car, unequivocally.
Well, not for you.
I don't care. So I picked cars that are for me.
Okay.
Let's start with the oldest car, the weirdest one, the Land Cruiser. All right. So this is a 60 series Land Cruiser
Yes.
that has 1,900 miles on it. And that was reportedly built for the CEO of Toyota Australia. So this is an Australian market import. Has a Illinois title. It's a very cool build that was built for somebody really special, and so you can assume it was done in a really great way. And it has no miles at all. And before people complain, it is still a turbo. The turbo diesel. It's kind of what you want for
I'll
diesel
let you have
trucks.
it. It says turbo right
Of
off.
course. Like, what do you mean you're gonna let me have it? Yeah. I will also note.
You'll find a loophole, and you'll go through it.
I will also note it is the equivalent to the largest engine that you chose, because it's a 4-liter inline six, but the 4-liter, which only the Audi is.
I guess that's true.
So I have more displacement than Kennan in this car. The 60 series is such a cool car. I legitimately really wish that I had an old SUV. I think that it's such a special, at this
cool.
point, quite unique driving experience. And this one seems even more special than most, truly. Really well built out, really cool set of modifications with some great history behind it and in impeccable condition as a result of its mileage.
Yeah.
It's just quite a special combination of things for a car like this.
It is a unique combination. Now, either he had the world's shortest commuter, he really didn't use it much.
I think when you're the CEO of Toyota Australia, maybe you
got a
don't
lot-
need to drive the car around.
Right, I think you've got a lot of you've got a company car to just drive around. But then nonetheless, like the pedigree is pretty cool.
Pedigree's cool, and just even without that, it just
I agree, it's
is
a real-
cool. High
well-
roof, which I think is really cool. The swing out spare tire.
Well, none of
it's
these have low mileage. They're all
No, except for this one. And
incredibly
like this looks like it has the mileage.
Yeah,
True.
I agree. The interior condition, like just based, like
Also, did you know that it has a cooling like little ice chest?
really.
Yeah.
Oh, look at those rear seats.
Yep.
Oh yeah, look at that.
I'm not good for performance here. I don't think that 4-liter
No,
turbo
you're-
diesel is fast.
you ain't going
But it
anywhere
is
fast.
capable and incredibly reliable. And there's a reason that
Okay.
the Land Cruiser name is what it is.
I agree. I love the Landy.
Okay.
I think it's an interesting choice for you to go very slowly over curbs with. I guess I don't know what you're.
I
using
can
for.
go quickly over curbs. That's fine. So it's the curves that are a problem. All right,
nice.
let's go to my sports car choice.
Okay, so we got that.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right. FD RX-7 Montego Blue, 5-speed manual, 1.3 liter turbocharged rotary engine, obviously.
Famously.
As you know. This car has had one owner since 1999. 26 years of the same owner.
Wow.
Which is really, really special. There are some modifications, but there's honestly relatively few modifications. A lot of FD RX-7s are very heavily modified. This is not. A different intercooler, Coney shocks and lowering springs, different wheels, but relatively minor mods, all in all.
Man.
And who doesn't love the FD RX-7? One of the most beautiful sports cars ever made. I've never driven one, but by all accounts, an incredibly pleasurable driving experience. This one has some miles. There's some mileage discrepancies. There are some dents and scratches around the exterior. It's a driven one, and I'm pretty okay with that.
Yes, because you're not, how do I put this gently, precious with your cars.
No, I'm not precious with my cars in the least. That Land Cruiser is like a exception to the rule. I would have to be kind of precious with it to retain the value. But RX-7 values, especially for pretty much unmodified ones, they have a floor.
They do.
Really, truly have a floor. And I love the idea of like guilt-free RX-7, where it's been owned by one person a long time. You can kind of assume that it's been maintained nicely and kept nicely with some signs of it having been driven and used. And maybe it needs a little bit of work, but that's fine. You can put in that money and still have a great experience and then get out of it in a good spot.
I agree. I mean, if your heart and soul and body and mind must be prepared to own a rotary, but nonetheless, rotaries are one of the best in innovations in internal combustion ever. So smooth and linear, and that power is just wonderful. And it's turbocharged. Obviously.
And this is no reserve. So whoever has the high bid will indeed win it.
It'll go to a new home first time since 1999.
Yep.
Pretty crazy.
All right. And then my third choice, which is the best car we have live right now, is this Volvo V60 Recharged T8 Polestar Engineered Extended Range. Easy name to remember. You can really say the full name
right off the top
easily. We also have a inline six, so 2015 V60 Polestar Live 2, which is the most desirable of the V60 Polestars. Truly, before they went to the 4-cylinder, it's still a 6-cylinder engine, also turbocharged. But I'm into this generation V60 more so than the first generation V60.
Why?
I just think it looks incredible, and I also love the idea for a daily driver of having a plug-in hybrid. Okay. So this is a 2-liter turbocharged plug-in hybrid.
I'll let you have it. Yeah,
thank you. 455 horsepower, 523 pound-feet of torque, which is no joke. That might be more torque than the F8, by the way.
I don't think it is. I think it's close, though.
It's so close. 568 for the F8.
It's pretty close.
It's pretty close. And it also has adjustable Öhlins dampers, has Brembo brakes, it has the cool gold seat belts. It's a practical wagon car that I can plug into my garage and then drive without using any gas. And I love that combination of sportiness, practical, great power from a plug-in hybrid experience.
I agree with all of that. Can I ask you a real question?
Mm-hmm. Why don't I own with?
Why don't you just buy this? Get rid of the GTI and buy it. Yeah, but you're going to lose that much on this?
No, but the truth, I can't
you should
that much money.
Buy this car.
No, I can't spend that much money. But I do legitimately love these cars. There was a time period, gotta go into story time, when every Volvo dealer, this was like 2021, every Volvo dealer, for some reason, had pretty base Volvo V60s as loaner vehicles. Mm-hmm. Clearly, Volvo was struggling to sell this generation base V60. And so every dealer pretty much, especially North Carolina, had one as a loaner. That meant that there were great deals on essentially new ones. And I borrowed one for a week from Greensboro Volvo in North Carolina. And it was great. But then I chose to buy my E-Class wagon instead.
You always do this. He always you but know what you deal. Want.
It was
this
a great
what you really
deal.
Want.
No, the real issue is that the T5 loaners, none of them had Pro Pilot Assist, which is like the adaptive cruise control.
Okay.
But I wasn't going to spend the money to get an actual one, so it was only appealing to me at that price point. So it didn't quite work out. But I've always loved this body, always loved this car. and it is a phenomenal turbocharged automobile.
Well, I can't fault you. That's a pretty. I mean, this is an excellent car, and I think it's the most you car we have on the site currently.
100%.
And I think your other choices are also very good. Like I wouldn't. I think I've beaten you here in terms.
No. We took very different approaches.
We did take very different approaches, and you can tell us whose approach you preferred more. Go to the link in the description below, or you can go to the community tab where we will have a post where you can let us know.
I want to say something as people go to that link to vote. Kennan's choices are traditional, sporty choices, and then an Audi S7. That's cool. But think about the cars you actually would want to own, that you want to put your own money behind. No, you want a really cool 60 Series. You want a practical, excellent daily driver that's, honestly, for being quite transparent, better than an S7. And then you want a cool sports car you can drive around.
Don't be Filippo. Aspire to greatness. Get the real stuff. Get cool, interesting stuff.
I'm being true to myself. The F8 is a stunning, exceptional car. There is literally no. You could gift me an F8 and I would sell it to buy a bunch of Volvo wagons.
A bunch of Volvo wagons.
If you gifted me an
Get rid
F8,
of your GTI and buy a Volvo wagon. Just do that. You don't even have to sell an F8. Get rid of that. Get rid of the Fiat to do this.
Manual. I only buy manual cars.
Buy that car. And also, if you want to actually buy a car on like Filippo, then you can go to the site and check out all
I bought a GTI on the site 5 months ago.
Yeah, get out of here. Thank you all so much for watching, and we will babble at you next week.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.